Okay, we're gonna wait a second. Last time it said there was an error, there actually wasn't. So I don't know if one of you can confirm, Brian. If you, oh, here,
Nothing yet.
I think it came through. Hey, everybody, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Let me try it again. Hey, guys, if you're listening to this, sorry, I'm having a little tech trouble now. I'm gonna try it again. Boom.
I'm seeing nothing on the computer, on
Error,
the internet.
error starting broadcast. Try again. Okay.
There we go.
Are we on?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Did that what I explained to you last time, Brian? It says I'm not live, but I am. Hey, everybody! Saturday morning live. This is Coach Kurt Johnson. We are overcomers here, including any technical difficulties. We persevere. We knock on doors, and if they don't open, we knock them open as long as we don't hurt anybody. So, welcome everybody. I hope these faces are real familiar to you. This is Brian Cummings, our Executive Director of Coaching and Training, and the awesome Dr. Josie Shepard. We got some really cool stuff to share with you today. I'll be turning it over to them in a moment. These guys have just crafted such an awesome platform for us that is empowering and educating so many people on their way to their ultimate business lifestyle. So this is Saturday Morning Live, but before I turn it over to them, welcome all the new members. We're getting dozens and dozens of new members every week, every day, pouring in. So welcome. If you are new and haven't met, I'm in the middle. If you haven't met these two, oh man, are you in a treat for today? I really encourage you to interact in our panel, ask questions, and so on and so forth. We just got some really, really good information, and we're heading into a powerful, not only selling season, but we got a couple events coming up that are going to be pretty powerful too. So, anyway, without any further ado, I really appreciate working with these two so much. Brian, I'm going to toss it back on over to you now, and I'm looking forward to listening in today also.
Great. Well, good morning, everybody. I've got a note here that there's a bit of echo, and could somebody confirm that or not? How about Kurt and Josie? Are you hearing echo from
No,
this?
I don't hear any echo. Everything
Okay.
sounds good.
I'll watch the notes. If somebody says echo, I'll take this thing off and we'll just try a little different connection. So, Josie, hi, welcome. So glad that you're here. I've asked you to come on this very early morning. You know, we're both on the West Coast and it's 7 a.m. here. I'm so glad that you joined us. We have an upcoming Q4 summit that we want to tell people about, and you're one of the presenters. And I just wanted to have you on the Saturday Morning Live because you and I are best buddies and we go way back. And I wanted to tell everybody a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's been a wonderful partnership.
So you introduced me to ANSIG and the e-commerce business school. You want to tell everybody how you and I met before that time?
Well, let me see if I've got the story right. If I remember correctly, Brian, it's been a while. It's been maybe almost 7 years now, 6 or 7 years.
About there.
Yeah, so you and I were in a mastermind group together with, I think it was 4 other people. So there were 6 of us total in the mastermind group. And it was a mastermind around selling on Amazon, selling wholesale on Amazon. And we got to know each other that way and really enjoyed each other. And that's how we started to work together. And especially we found we were kindred spirits, both in our approach to selling on Amazon, but also in our desire to share what we knew about Amazon with other people. And the training portion that we've done together has, I think, been, for me anyway, has been so much fun and so productive.
You know, the mastermind was an important part of my development of my business. I'm thinking it was for you too. I had been selling on Amazon for a while and just selling books primarily and wanted to expand my business beyond flipping books. But I was all alone. I didn't have a community. I didn't have any training to go by. And I did reach out in a group and saying, hey, I'm looking for some cohorts, some other Amazon sellers to meet and brainstorm with. You
That's
recall that, right? Mhm.
Yeah, that's right. And I think you had already formed the group, and I approached the group and said, "Have you got room for one more?" Because I was in the same situation. I was doing it all my own, making up a lot of it, trying to do the research myself, and it just felt lonely. And once I discovered the group, that was so helpful because here were other people who had some of the same issues, some of the same questions. We really shared with each other. It was, I think, probably the thing that made the difference for me in terms of being able to go forward and be successful.
Yeah, it made a huge difference for me too. And that speaks to the power of mastermind groups like that.
Mhm.
I'm, I'm mentioning this because in the e-commerce masters program, our one of our advanced levels of membership at the e-commerce business school, we encourage, in fact, we provide everybody the ability to be placed into a mastermind group. So you join EMP, e-commerce masters program, and you get to be a part of a group like this. It's all set up for you. It made a huge difference for me, and I know it did for you.
Right.
We want the same for our other members as well. Well, okay, so let's advance forward a little bit. You and I had been to a couple of trade shows together
Mhm.
and a couple of conferences together. And I remember being on one of our meetings, and you were in Minneapolis because of Ann Sieg in the e-commerce business school. Want to talk a little bit about that?
Well, Anne and I go way back too, and I had been a part of her group for several years and had taken some of her highest level classes there that were focused on internet marketing. And then she and I reconnected around e-commerce and getting started selling on Amazon. So I had been teaching some classes with Anne, and I thought that you would be a perfect person to join me in that and begin to teach some classes too. You knew so much. By that time, we really had a pretty good grasp on what was happening on Amazon, and I wanted you to be involved as well. So I had to introduce you to Anne.
Well, that was fantastic. We were at the ASD trade show, the United States' largest consumer products trade show. That was in Las Vegas, and Anne was there, meeting you there at that trade show, and you introduced me to her. And that was like 2014. That goes a while back.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the show where Anne came, and we walked the floor together. She got her first private label product at that trade show. And then after a very long day of walking the floor, we went back over to the hotel, and you and your wife Terry met us there in the dining room, and you got to know Anne at that point. I think she even did an interview with you.
Yep, she did an interview there. You can ask Anne if you want to hear that. She'll dig it up for you someplace in our vast uh, video interviews that we have there, vast stockpile. Um, let's say hello to everybody that's on the call here. This is Saturday Morning Live, and we regularly are joined by our members. And I just want to shout out to some of the people, Ruth and Lisa and Beth. Hi, Beth. We were hanging out yesterday together. Judith and Jenny and Debbie and Lanny, Jeannie, Elizabeth. Boy, there's a lot of people here this morning. You know, people really turn out to hear when you speak.
Oh,
Josie, Ann calls you the oracle. And when you speak, people listen. So they've turned out for you this morning. There's Carla and Walter and Robert and Judy, a lot of other people. So by the way, if you have questions for Josie, if you have questions about e-commerce masters program, being in a mastermind group, wholesale sourcing, which you're going to talk about in just a moment, please post those questions in here. We'll take a moment to answer those questions for you. So Josie, we were there at a wholesale trade show, and that's what you were doing and have been doing is wholesale sourcing. Had you never done any arbitrage?
well, it was really pretty much a shock when I found out about retail arbitrage because I had been doing wholesale for about a year. I mean, that was the model that I was introduced to. My sister was interested in selling on Amazon, and she asked me to accompany her to a friend's house that was selling on Amazon. And this woman was selling wholesale. And after about 30 minutes of hearing what she was doing, I thought, well, that's something I could do too. My sister never did it, but I was hooked. But so because I was introduced to the wholesale model, I didn't even realize that there was an arbitrage model for selling on Amazon. When I found that out, it was really quite a shock, because it never occurred to me that there was any other way to do it. But yes, you and I were focused at that point, and going to trade shows, identifying vendors for products we thought would do well on Amazon, and purchasing those and selling those on Amazon. So it was totally wholesale focus for me from the very beginning.
So when you heard about arbitrage, did you think, well, I should be doing arbitrage instead, or was wholesale just the natural way of being in business? What did you think?
I thought, oh my goodness, had I learned about arbitrage, that would have been a whole lot easier way to get started, because you can control your costs so precisely with arbitrage. You know exactly what you're going to be, how much money you're going to be making, and so on. And with wholesale, you don't have quite the same control, at least not for a while, until you really understand it. So it would have been a much shorter learning curve, I think, for me, had I begun with retail arbitrage. So I kind of missed the boat there.
I think the other advantage of arbitrage is that you get to sample lots of different products and product categories. So you learn so much about Amazon and selling a variety of products. And then when you find something that really takes off for you and you say, wow, I'd like to sell more in this product category, that's when wholesale really makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely true. Having an idea about a particular niche or product line, you can develop that doing arbitrage and knowing what sells and what people are really interested in, and then you can move into wholesale and expand from there. So I think that's a great way to do it.
And it's also, wholesale has that advantage. You can just get on the phone and order more. You don't have to go hunt for more products.
That's so true.
Kurt, do you have slides? I'm not able to see the slides from here. Have you been showing those? You have been? Okay, so people have seen pictures of Dr. Josie and her warehouse and all of that. I don't know if you could show that. We have a couple of slides here. I know that you and I can't see these on Josie here.
Brian?
But yes.
I think I might have been the echo, so I was double muted. I've just been showing Dr. Josie the first slide, so I haven't showed the VA or a little bit of the journey. So if you want me to, I can go to slide, what's number 5 now of the VAs, and keep going if you'd like.
Okay.
But Josie, you've been the master of scale. You've been able to systematize your business, and not only just do one business, but several businesses. Can you talk a little bit about how you moved not from Amazon, but beyond just selling wholesale on Amazon to these different business models, and also your prep center, your FBA prep center?
Well, I'll start with the prep center, and then I'll talk more about the systemization. I think that systematizing your business is absolutely the key to being able to expand. As an individual seller, you're limited. You can only do so much. There are only so many hours in the day. And so eventually you're going to want to expand your staff, and having VAs, virtual assistants, to help you with that has, at least for me, turned out to be an absolute godsend. This is what has allowed me to expand. So you have a system, and then you have people to operate that system. But I started my prep center simply because I was having a problem. One night I had to call my husband and say, sweetie, you can't park in the garage because I've just gotten another load of inventory and there's no room. So I had inventory in the dining room, in the living room, in the garage, and we were living in a 2-bedroom condo at the time. And so there simply was no place else. And I figured, well, if I'm having that problem, other people are having that problem too. And so that was the genesis of the prep center. So I went out, I took a risk, and I rented a little bit of warehouse space, and again, began to develop a system for this. So now I'm in Oregon, and our big warehouse is down in Oceanside, California, and my warehouse manager runs that. We have staff that handle customer service, I have somebody who handles the books and so on. So I really don't have to be involved unless I want to. And that's really nice. Really appreciate that.
You made a statement at our previous Trifecta workshop in Dallas in January. You and I and the other teachers were in front of the group, and people were asking us questions. And by the way, if you have questions for Josie, please sure to put them in there. I see one from Debbie. We'll address that. The one question, though, that really got everybody was, well, okay, so you've automated your business. You have a team and staff members. How much time do you spend on your business? And I think they were asking like a week. And your answer was what?
It was about 20 minutes a day.
20 minutes a day. And people are thinking, well, do you have a 20-hour week or 30 or 40-hour week? And your answer was 20 minutes a day. How do you do that?
Well, the whole thing is that you create a system. So you really have to think through what are all the pieces that are involved in terms of running an Amazon business. And then from there, you find people that you can trust and you can train and trust then to do that particular portion of the process. So I just had knee replacement surgery. I have, it has been 2 weeks yesterday. Yesterday was the first day I had a conversation with anybody in my business, any of my staff members.
In 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks. So they wished me well. They said, don't worry, we'll take care of everything. And they did. The only thing that I did was Thursday, I sent out all the paychecks. But I haven't had to talk with them for 2 weeks because they know the system and they are well trained, and I trust them, and it just goes forward. So they do research on products, they order products, they put up the listings on Amazon, they monitor the listings, they monitor the inventory levels, so on. We have a system that pays our vendors. All of that is done by the VAs in a step-by-step system.
Yeah, you have truly an owner-independent business rather than owner-reliant business. Mm-hmm. There's a couple of questions here. Let me see. Up here, I'm trying to get to, there we go. Debbie's asking, she says, what inspired you to initially make a career change from being a doctor to business ownership with Wholesale and then Amazon?
Well, I have a son who who is disabled. He had an autoimmune disease and lost both of his kidneys. And so he went through a very tough time on dialysis for a number of years with his health deteriorating, and he needed me. And so that's the reason that I stopped working as a psychologist and started eventually after a while to start to look for some other way to bring in some money. We needed additional money to help support the things that we needed for his health. So that's why when my sister took me to visit her friend who was selling on Amazon, I thought, well, this is great because I can do this from home. I can be available to my family and to my son and still be able to run a business.
You and I are training at the upcoming Q4 Summit. Mm-hmm. We have an online summit that's coming up on August 9th and 10th, and we have a number of our staff training at this. We have, I think, 12 different sessions covering all kinds of information about how to be successful for selling in Q4 fact, Josie, you and I have been through a lot of Q4s before we
Yeah.
talk about the training. Want to tell everybody what a Q4 is?
Well, Q4 is the fourth quarter, and that is the time of the year, that's the holiday season, and that's the time of the year when sales on Amazon go through the roof. So you got to be prepared. You got to know what you're doing. You have to plan ahead because you can't just wing it in Q4 and expect that you're going to be able to take advantage of this huge boost in sales activity. So Q4 is what all Amazon sellers look forward to.
And do you recall your first real Q4 selling products on Amazon?
I just recall being surprised that there was this, all of a sudden I was going, oh my goodness, we're running out of inventory. What is happening here? So yeah, that was kind of a painful learning curve for me because I wasn't ready. It was the first time through. I just didn't know what to expect. I do now. And so you plan ahead and everything in place before Q4 begins. Your inventory, when your inventory is going in, all that's planned out. So it's a great opportunity.
So we're going to help people plan with the Q4 Summit that's coming up. Now that's part of our e-commerce masters program. We'll have a little information and a link where you can go and learn more. In fact, there's a link on the Facebook page here that you can click right down at the bottom and click on that and it'll take you to learn more about it. You're going to train on a couple of things, including wholesale sourcing and thinking about those people that are doing retail arbitrage and want to find winning products through wholesale for this coming Christmas selling season. What would you tell them? In fact, what are you going to tell them in your training?
Well, we're going to talk about how you create a relationship with a vendor, how you identify vendors. By vendor, I mean somebody who has wholesale products that they want to sell. You know, they're looking for customers for their products. And we're going to tell you how to make that connection, how to present yourself in a way that makes them want to sell to you, how you go ahead and decide what is a good starting order for that particular product. And then eventually we're also going to talk about how to create the listings for those products to make it pop. So customers on Amazon say, yeah, this is the one I want. So, but we're going to focus on that whole process. This is how you find vendors. This is how you get vendors to sell to you. And you have to remember, they want to sell to you. You know, you are the lifeblood of their business. You just have to position yourself in a way so that they say, yeah, this is a person that I want to have a business relationship with. And then we'll go ahead and help you in terms of how much am I going to order for the Q4 season.
Yeah, you know, there's this fear among new Amazon sellers or even just people that have been selling on Amazon, but they don't have a brick and mortar store. They don't have any wholesale accounts, and they're thinking, I'm just an Amazon seller. Why would a wholesaler, why would a manufacturer want to sell to me? Why would they let me rep their products on Amazon? And I know that you and I have talked about that with our members in the past.
Mm-hmm. So there's some tricks of the trade here. And there are some words, some vocabulary that we're going to give you, help you sound as though you've been doing this forever. And we're going to tell you what to say to the vendor to make them feel, okay, this person knows what they're doing on Amazon. I want them representing our brand.
You know, Josie, this is going to be fun. Many of our newer members don't know that we've been training partners for a long time too. You and I have put on, do you have any idea, could you count? We can't count it on two hands, the number of workshops that you and I have done together. We've built those, you know, designed those, trained them, presented them, all of that together. So it's fun. I love working with you.
Oh, and I feel the same way. There's a synergy there. It's great.
A couple other questions here. Let's see. From John, this is Debbie's husband. How do you keep your local VAs your virtual assistants, how do you keep them from taking what they learn and starting their own business, and what they learn from working in your business? How do you keep them from competing with you?
Well, I have VAs in. I have 3 VAs in the Philippines and one in India. My lead VA is in India. Her name is Divya, and I treat Divya really, really well. And I think that Divya has a personal investment in the business. I think she sees it as much her business as it is ours, and that she really cares. So over the years, we've really developed a nice relationship with each other. But I also pay them well. And it would be difficult for them to go elsewhere and be able to start at the level that I pay them. But I really do think that it is that personal loyalty. They care about the business. They see it as their own.
Yeah, you and I have both had success with that. We've had long-term employees
Right.
through, yes. I think there's this tendency to think about VA as being a temporary person. They're a real person just having to live in a different country, but just like any other employee, they go to work every day. It may be at their own home in front of their own computer, but they're going to work every day. They're working for a solid company like mine, like yours, and that's what they want to do. So they don't necessarily want to go into business in competition. They like their job, and of course, you and I know how to treat them well.
Yeah, I think you have to realize that they see this as, this isn't something that is just sort of, okay, I'm going to do this for a few months. I'm going to learn what I can. I'm going to move on to something else, that kind of thing. That they see this as a career. And so working for a good company, they can, talk to their friends and family and say, look, I have a real good history here. I'm getting a great wage for, compared to other people in my country. I have developed a real skill. I'm appreciated and valuable to this enterprise.
How long has Divya worked for you?
I think it's been about 3 years now.
Yeah. Nick told me it was 5 years that he's been working for me.
Mm-hmm.
Long time.
Yeah, and of course, Mozzie, who runs the warehouse, has been working for me even longer, and Michael, my son, who's also involved in the business, has been with me from the very beginning too.
Let's see, there's a couple other comments. Judy is saying, good morning, what an inspiring person. We've heard that from others, Josie. Let's see. And some people agreeing with you. Let's see, Judy is saying she's in a similar situation. Oh, she's talking about her husband being disabled and they're caring for their daughter. And they have to make an income from home. So she's hoping that this is it. Have anything you'd like to say to Judy about it?
Judy, this is it.
Yeah, you've done it. And if they follow in your footprints, your path,
Yes.
we can show people how to do that.
Yeah, this is totally doable. We provide just everything you need at the e-commerce business school. So any the training that you need, the guidance that you need, questions that you have, all this is available here. So where Brian and I were kind of putting things together, learning through our mistakes, you don't have to do that here. It's all available.
We learned the hard way, didn't we?
Yeah.
And we don't want members to make those same mistakes that we've made. So we're hoping that you'll join us at the upcoming Q4 online summit. That's our first ever online summit. It's going to be a terrific event with 12 sessions over 2 days. Dr. Josie Shepard is training on a couple of sessions. So am I. Danita Zonre, Kay Kate Curtis is also training. Our new coach, Candida Lillard, will also be training there. Kathleen Cleary is training. We have a great lineup, and they're all directed towards being successful for this upcoming Christmas Q4 selling season. So Kurt, you have some slides. I can't see if they're playing or not there.
Thank you so much. That was just great. I enjoy listening to you and you two reflecting, and I know that there are lots of people. Sometimes when we've heard something, we say, well, doesn't everybody know this? Josie, there are hundreds and hundreds of new members just in the last couple months that haven't heard your story yet. And that's why they're so excited and inspiring, not understanding the foundation that you and Brian created for this community. It's rock solid. And so we just owe you so much thanks for that. So yeah, Brian, the Q4 Summit, if people want to know more details, the link is in the post here. All they have to do is click on that and listen to the replay. And I'm just really encouraging everybody on that same replay, they can click the next link and then go ahead and find out more about and apply for the e-commerce masters program, of which the Q4 Summit is a part. And I got just a few slides here to quickly run through before we wrap it up. These are slides from Thursday night. We now have less than X. I think we do have a few seats left, so I'm still taking interviews and applications. I can even talk to someone today if they really want to know. We are in a 72-hour window where there's a bonus. Brian, you just delivered, if you want to mention that briefly, with your coaches and trainers and staff, the trifecta workshop. And in this 72-hour bonus, those that step up and make an application, we have decided to give them the full recordings from the trifecta workshop to even further help their Q4 efforts. So if no one's heard about that, which is possible, we've got hundreds of members just in the last couple of weeks. Would you like to tell a little bit about what just happened in the event that we just came off of?
Well, that was our best ever trifecta. We call it the trifecta because it's 3 workshops all in one weekend. There's our Shop Your Way to Wealth, which is how to sell retail arbitrage products that are clearance at at any store in your local town, and how to sell those for profit on Amazon. Our online shopping profit system, where you can take the same approach, but now instead of finding products locally, you're finding products online from retail stores all over the world, millions of retail stores. And in there, we teach people how to hire a VA, a virtual assistant, to do that sourcing for you. So while you're at sleep at night, they're up during the daytime, and they're shopping for you at online stores. Teach you how to hire, train, and manage a virtual assistant. And then our book flipping profit system, which, much like retail arbitrage, is finding books from different sources, whether it's thrift stores or library sales, and selling those on Amazon for really a huge ROI. You can buy a book for $1 and then sell it for $50 or $100. That's a tremendous net profit per item. So those are the 3 workshops that we train on. You'll get the recordings to those. It was the best ever, and it was just last weekend, so it's very fresh, up-to-date training. It's not stale, something that's 2 years old. There's a couple of other questions here. Josie, you have a moment to answer these?
Sure.
So how long did it take you to replace your income? It's really what people are asking is a full-time income. How long does it take to develop a full-time income? How long did it take you?
Well, things really took off for me. Again, you have to remember I was learning this as going along. So this is not going to be, I think other people who have training available and support available to them do this faster. But that first 10 months, I sold $135,000 worth of inventory. The second year, then it was over 400,000. So it can happen fairly quickly. It's a matter of just putting one foot in front of the other.
It took me at that time, and again, I was learning. So having to invent the wheel, so to speak, all by myself. And it took about 18 months to get to that place. I was looking to replace about $5,000 a month, and it took me about 18 months to get there. I do it faster now.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes, we both would, wouldn't we? That's right. Let's see. Are there any other questions here? I have to move the screen around. So let's see. You're getting some other people saying thank you and kudos. Let's see. I think that's it. Lanny is saying you guys have started really early on in this business. Is there still a place for newbies like me to succeed in this business?
Amazon is continuing to grow at an astounding rate. And as you've probably heard from Brian or someone else on our staff at some point, that over 50% of Amazon's sales come through third-party sellers like us. Amazon would be lost without us. And so absolutely, this is, just because you weren't here a few years ago doesn't mean that there isn't an equally good opportunity now.
Yeah, and there may be more sellers on Amazon, but there are far more buyers. So that demand for products has increased incredibly. And that's what Amazon is saying. We want third-party sellers. We need third-party sellers because they can't, by themselves, possibly supply the demand for products. It's nice to know we're needed, isn't it? Judy is asking, do you do most of your buying online?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, so yes, we find our vendors. We find our vendors online. We still do go to. I still go to trade shows. I enjoy the energy. I enjoy seeing the products, that kind of thing. But more and more, we're moving to doing our sourcing online. And then, of course, once we have the relationship set up with a vendor, then everything then is online. So we simply send in our orders by email mostly. We don't call. We used to, pick up the phone and say, send me more, but we don't even need to do that anymore. We simply send out an email. They go ahead, package for us, send it into Amazon. So all of that becomes automated as well.
That's right. You haven't prepped anything in a long, long time, have you? You don't handle your merchandise.
No, I don't. I don't handle merchandise. I did handle some dog collars a little while ago because I wanted to see what the level of quality was, and it made me remember why I don't want to handle it. So yeah. So once I had the answers that I needed, then everything is just back in the warehouse.
I think another thing that people should know or would want to know is that both you and I have diversified. We don't have all of our eggs in one basket. Now, we may be selling the majority of our products through Amazon, and we're in the so-called Amazon basket. But as far as sourcing goes, sourcing online, well, yes, we source online, but we also do other things where we get products. So both you and I are doing print on demand. We're both doing production of products. Many of our print-on-demand suppliers are around in different places across the country. So we have diversified. We're not just focused on one. And your products also come from Thailand. I mean, you're not just buying from U.S. suppliers where you're getting products overseas.
That's right. And we are expanding to the UK and to Australia as well.
Great. Oh, so you're selling in the UK and Australia too. Awesome.
We're just getting started there. But these are products that we have established lines, so we know that they're in demand. We're just taking it to a new marketplace.
Well, great. Thank you, everybody. I'm looking at the comments over here. I'm really hoping you're going to join us on the online summit. By the way, that'll be an interactive training. There'll be training and there'll be opportunity. You'll be watching it live and communicating with us. We'll be able to answer your questions, do any show and tell that you might need. So I'm really hoping you join us, join Dr. Josie Shepard and myself and our other trainers August 9th and 10th for our Q4 online summit. Thank you very much, Josie. And Coach Kurt, thank you for your time, efforts being here, and thank you for saving me from my tech issues. Really appreciate you.
Hey, this has been great, guys. I'll just finish up the slides here. Thank you, everybody. And you can keep posting questions, even if you're listening to this recording. We'll give you answers as you move along. So the events for EMPers that Brian mentioned, we just got done with the trifecta, but now coming into August 9th and 10th, he just mentioned that. We do have an Ultimate Business Lifestyle Retreat coming up that EMPers are eligible for at the end of August. Early in November, we have the E-commerce Mastery Summit. So there's lots of great opportunity to connect with Brian and Josie and Ann and many, many others. And so, you know, whether that's Colorado or whether we meet again, Brian, I don't want to say it's 100% sure, but I'm almost sure we're going to be in Florida in November. Is that right? Am I remembering correctly? Yeah.
First weekend in Florida, that's what we're planning.
Yep. So right now, if you are considering this at all, go ahead and listen to the replay. The link is there. We're in a 72-hour window. If you do it right now, you also get the recordings from the Trifecta workshops, and I'd be happy to meet with you and go over that application with you. So go ahead and hit that button, do that, and we are out of time here. I'm just going to show the last slide here. The Q4 Online Summit is coming up really, really fast, and so this has been an edition of the Saturday Morning Live. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Josie. Thank you, everybody. And hope that you fill out that application, make an appointment. I could even talk to you today, Saturday, what is it, the 27th of July. So thanks, everybody, and make it a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.